Good evening and salutations, my YNR fans. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't know what this episode is supposed to be. I really don't. I am baffled. I'm just bewildered. One of the things that I did like, that I did appreciate, and this is something that they skipped in Days of Our Lives, when Chad had to sit there and tell his kids that his mom, their mom isn't coming back, and they're in heaven and everything like that. When you had to sit there and break the news, they did it off screen. They did it off screen. And the one thing that I can sit there and respect about this show is that they actually showed, Kyle and Summer talking to Harris about, um, Ashland and his death. And, they did it in a way where they didn't overload him, but they basically softly told him that he had an accident and he's not coming back. That was a pretty touching and kind of sad moment, to be honest. But I thought that they handled it pretty well. I give them major props for not actually shying away from that, because they could have did that. They could have told him off screen, and they could have told us the fallout and everything like that, but they didn't do that. Um, there's a point where Diane comes in. And, Summer's like, yo, listen, this isn't a good time. We got to sit there and tell Harrison some news, and it's not a good time. And I'm going to be honest, when she kind of barged on in, I was like, yo, sweetheart, she just told you that this is not a good time. Your dumbass starts peeking all in through the house and just kind of barging on in. Like, what are you doing? But, you know, the way that she handled it with Harrison um, was done really well. So well that Kyle, I'm still kind of not in the loop with everything. Told Harrison that Diane is his grandmother. And they allowed him to go outside and play and just kind of take everything in, but still be a kid at the same time. So I that was probably the best part of this episode. Um, yeah, that was the best part of this episode. Everything else, it just I get that this show, like B&B, they operate on a different energy, okay? Different style, whatever you want to sit there and call it. But watching Nick wallow for 37 something minutes, that was a lot. Don't get me wrong, Ashland to him was a POS. With that being said, no person likes the idea of knowing that somebody else life got cut short because of it. You know that really the amount of guilt and everything like that could show just how well, I don't want to say how good of a heart that they have, but I don't really know Nick's past. But he seems like he's a pretty level-headed person with a good heart, and it's killing him knowing that he took somebody else's life, even somebody like Ashlyn. Okay, so on that note, I can understand and I can respect that. But as far as an entertainment value for 30 something minutes, it's kind of started to wear on me a lot, because he sat there and he talked to Nikki, and Nikki tried to calm him down and be like, hey, listen, you protect your sister. When you look at the fundamentals of it, and the thing is, he knows that logically, emotionally is something different. But Nikki tried to talk to him, didn't really work. Sharon sat there and tried to talk to him, didn't really work. We've been dealing with that for about like a good 2 days now, and been watching any of my reviews, you know, there's just certain things I just don't have patience for. I can respect what they're doing and give them props for what they're doing, but I also don't have patience for certain things after a while, and that's one of them. So halfway through Hemsnet there talking about it, I'm just like, hey, how long is this episode? Now, the only thing that I can really remember, there is self wallowing, is that he feels that Victor is behind it somehow. Somehow he had his hands in it, and he can't trust him to sit there and tell him the truth. Now, Chance ran into Adam. Adam was not there talking to Sharon about Sally, and it just really didn't go anywhere. Um, because he still understands of, oh well, I didn't do it to save her job. I did it because I didn't want to be with her. And Sharon's like, listen, I heard two different versions of what you just said. I'm not even going to sit there and try to dissect either of them. Tells him something that he's sitting there talking about tests and surgery and everything like that, which was another. I don't even know where to begin to sit there and tell you. Just I felt like I should actually get a disclaimer like I did with B&B, but I can't hold my tongue, and maybe I probably should have. You know what? At this point, if you want to probably stop, because it's only actually going to get worse. Okay, it's only going to get worse. I'm just pointing that out right now. Sharon was there sharing some stuff about Tess and Mariah and the surgery and everything like that. Um, Adam was meant to talk about going to Vegas to gamble, which apparently is a bad thing because I'm assuming that he has some sort of problem. And Sharon was like, "You probably shouldn't go because last time I had to sit there and come and get you and everything." Um, so if he has a problem gambling and he's going to go back to gambling, it's like, the hell are you doing? But you know what? To be fair, an addiction is an addiction, and it is what it is sometimes. So he books his flight. He talks to Chance. Chance is not there talking about, well, because he didn't know that Ashlyn was dead. And it was like, the official version is that, what they're going to for now is that, he died in his car of injuries or whatever. But he was like, unofficial, when Adam was like, okay, well, what about unofficially? And Chance was like, listen, um, just come back as soon as you can because your family's going to need you. So he canceled his flight to Vegas to stay close to the family and deal with more of the Sally stuff because why not at this point? It's kind of weird with this show, and I know that a lot of these shows, you got couples that break up for like little to no reason. But from when people told me, like Jack and Phyllis, they were just getting back to, they were just finding their way back to each other, and then Diane comes in and it's just, and from what I understand, Nick and Phyllis were together, but then it was like one time they had like some sort of argument and just and now you got this whole Sally thing and Adam. At least with Adam, I know why he did what he did, but it's like some of these couples just like they're just gone, dust, Thanos, whatever the hell you want to sit there and call it. It's a very weird way to sit there and write for this show, but you know, I'm still late to the party, so I could be. I don't. I don't want to sit there and say I guess I could be wrong. I could be wrong because I haven't watched the show as long as other people. This is just my perspective on just me watching the show as still somewhat of a newcomer. What can I say about Mariah and Tess? Trying trying to come up with some nice stuff to sit there and say. Don't get me wrong, there was some nice stuff that happened within that scene. I When I started watching the show and I started watching them, I always found them to be kind of the worst part of this show because they just came across as extremely boring. Like, extremely boring. Like, every time they would sit there and cut to them, I would constantly roll my eyes and, like, are they gonna do something? Is something gonna wind up happening? No, nothing. Okay, sure, whatever. So Tess is kind of worried. Tess is kind of, she's worried about surgery and it may not go well. And, Mariah's just there to sit there and comfort her and remind her that regardless of what ends up happening, she is going to succeed one way or the other. She's a talented songwriter and things of that nature. And most likely it's just a routine test, but a routine surgery, but she has options and she's going to be great. So she managed to sit there and calm her down, saying some nice words and things of that nature. I felt like probably after a while it was like, all right, yeah, I get it. I felt like it got to a point where it started to get so sweet and sappy. And listen, when I sit there and say sweet and sappy, this is a guy who loved This Is Us. Okay. This is a guy. Well, first of all, if you watch This Is Us and you have not bawled your eyes out at some point of that show, you might be a sociopath. Okay. And trust me, first and second season, it was a lot of tears. Okay. So I don't sit there and say this stuff lightly. So after a while, it got to a point. It's like, right, yes, I guess she said what she needed to hear. It's just after a while, it started becoming so sweet. You ever just had something that just had so much sugar that it just started to taste kind of nasty? Like that's kind of how it was after a while. Now after that, Ryan starts crying, and part of me was just like, but the other part of me understood it. See, she probably wanted to sit there and do that the whole time, but she wanted to be strong for Tess. Okay? And a lot of times, you have to sit there and be, even when you feel weak, you have to be strong for someone else. It doesn't mean that you're not going to break down at some point. You just got to sit there and do it away from them. So I understood that scene. Um, Other than that, they went to their surgery or whatever, and that was that. And hopefully it goes well, and she could be singing and doing some songs. I don't know. Honestly, tell you the truth, I'm just like, I wish they would get into something that would seem kind of interesting. Now I saw the previews. They have a weird thing of doing previews. This is like back in the day when I sit there and watch soap operas. I used to watch Poor Charles and More Like to Live and General Hospital. So I'm used to previews every day at the end of the episode. So watching days previews, like they'll do a preview or promo, whatever, for the week, and something happens that they show some scenes or whatever. I'm just like, well, I guess this is about it. Like especially when I first started watching days, I was like, well, there's no previews. And to be fair, General Hospital stopped doing previews for about like a year and a half. I'm like, the hell is going on? But I saw the previews towards YNR and it looked like it's going to be interesting. It looks like Nate and Davon get into it a bit. I don't know whatever this truth that they have between each other, but it does not seem like it's lasting. Is this like the first day or something like that? Because the way Nate was sent to come in at Davon, he was like, "Yo, listen, I don't need a babysitter. Like I know how to sit there and do my job. I don't need you sitting there hovering over me." Um, Now I don't know what's going on because the episode didn't happen yet, but I don't know why. But I feel like Nate is probably blown to side proportion. When I started watching this, I remember he blew up at Nate the first time when when Davon was there trying to offer him the job to sit there and come on board, and like he snapped at him, and it was like, bro, he's they're trying to give you a job, and you just acting like a jackass for no reason. And I feel like that's the case within the scene. I could be wrong, and I guess time will tell when it comes on. But so, is Nate with Amani yet? Did that happen? Because I know she was just acting like a damn snake. Um, she was just acting like a snake and just hella desperate. So, and also from what I heard of Brock TV, because he did a review and he was basically like, Nate is not even, he's checked out of this relationship. He's just done that they're trying to get it to work. I don't know how true that is. That's just what I heard from his review. Um, yep, I feel like that's about it. I feel like that's about it. I think that's the gist of the episode, or the most pertinent parts of the episode. So with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Have a great, safe, amazing weekend, and I will see you in the next video. Before I go, I've been saying in the other reviews, I might have said in my B&B review, that episode was, um, and if I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry. It's just I don't know who watches, I don't know, I don't know if the same people who watch the B&B reviews watch the Y&R reviews. So if I'm saying this again, you're hearing it for the fourth time, I apologize at this point. But me, DC, and James, JLJ Media, DC Soap Sanctuary, and I did a video yesterday, just kind of talking about the soaps and things of that nature. It was a really fun conversation. Um, that time escaped us, and we really got into some stuff, and I learned a lot from JLJ. Got a lot more respect from him. Not like I didn't have respect for him before, but we had a good time. There's always going to be things we're going to sit there and bump heads with, but we had a good time sitting there talking stuff out. So yeah, check it out. If you watch my channel, you probably know about JLJ Media. I'm pretty sure I left a link in my B&B review, but I will sit there and try. I said I was going to try before, so if I didn't try before, I'm going to sit there and try to put it in there. And in this one also, the link to the video. So yeah, with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe, and I will see everyone in the next video.